Like Wu-Tang in the background? Is that a poster?
Yeah. So this poster I got when I went to Sweden for like at Spotify. They'll send everybody to Sweden once, like when you join the company. And I saw it on the first like day or two when I was riding a Lime scooter, and then I like kept looking for one and I couldn't find it, so I like left the one event and I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna find one. And I found it and I like, took it really quick and put it in my backpack and brought it home. That was my souvenir.
Oh, that's sick, man. That's sick.
But I didn't get to see that tour though. I was kind of bummed. It would have been cool if I actually got to see that tour, and I had.
Yeah, I think last year or something.
I saw them last year. Yeah, that was like.
How could they?
That was their last tour.
Yeah, that's what they said, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking of it.
It was sick. I actually went with Colleen's uncle, with Uncle Ed.
Oh,
it was dope.
I forgot that you said that.
Yeah.
He likes rap, that's right.
That's cool.
Yeah. He loves Wu-Tang. So yeah, we went and it was dope. We got these 6 tickets. It was in Prudential, but we found these ones that said that it had partial view, but it was like right next to the stage, so they were only like $120. But literally, like you were like right on the edge where they like come out when they're playing hockey, or whatever, in basketball. Like by the locker room, so you could see like Method Man riding around on like a scooter smoking weed in the back. You could see like the whole backstage the whole time, which was dope.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I love Wu-Tang. How you guys doing? It's been a while. We got Final Call calling in.
What's up?
What's up?
How we doing?
From the what do they call it? The Big Apple, the Empire City. What are the other nicknames? I don't know.
Yeah,
from the Carroll West Village.
Some of the things.
Yeah.
We're here.
I think,
we're living life.
Long Island to New York City.
Yes, sir.
I can't remember the last time you guys came on, like what the date was, but it's been a while. It's been years for sure.
Yeah,
couple of years.
It was probably for the first album, right?
Yeah,
which I think came out in 2022, so it was probably like around then.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, somewhere around 2022.
Yeah.
I don't know. Were you guys a video podcast? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think we did the video too.
Maybe.
But we were all in different rooms and whatnot. But
yeah. Okay, 20. I remember you guys were the first one where I did like a different kind of art. You were the first ones with like the blue art. Oh no, you weren't video yet, but we did it on video, but it was audio.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
For the listener. Yeah, February 2022, February 10th. Holy shit.
Yeah,
it was almost like 3 years ago.
The album came out in April of 22, so yeah, I guess we were promoting that.
Yeah, it is crazy, right? COVID, I feel like just
Yeah.
made time fly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we're
Yeah, so that's a whole different era, right? You guys didn't even live in the city back then, I don't think. Or maybe just
Pat and I did.
Pat and you did?
We did.
Pat and Evan.
Yeah, we did the oh yeah, sorry, I should say my name, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Are we like introducing?
Good. We got Evan, Paul, Greg, and Pat.
There you go.
That was or like maybe right at the start of me joining the band.
Yeah, I don't think you didn't record on that album, I think.
I wasn't on it at all.
Yeah.
And I was still living with my parents in Long Island. Were you in Queens at that time, or you were still with
I was already in Queens, yeah.
And Pat and I, we had the apartment in Chelsea, so I remember doing it from that apartment. That was the 1 year that we were there.
Oh, yeah, and you guys went to different rooms, for sure. Yeah, I'm right.
Oh, yeah.
We did,
Yeah, we did. We used 2 of the 3 rooms that we had. Yeah.
Yeah, so in 4 years, a lot has changed. But we're the same. We're the same.
Yeah, it's 4 years. 4 years. Holy shit. I was thinking it was 3. I forgot it's 2026.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how was college?
Glad it's over now. Working.
But yeah, you guys sent me your new album, so we're going to talk about that a little bit, right? And there's been other stuff going on, too. You've been performing in the city a bunch. I haven't gotten a chance to come and see you in the city. I saw you guys when you played in New Jersey over the summer, though, and that was dope.
Oh, yeah.
How have those shows been?
At the Porch Fest, right? That was when we played.
Porch Fest. Yeah.
That was fun. I mean, I always like doing the Porch Fest. So, like, just playing outside is a good time, always.
Oh, yeah, it's the best.
Yeah.
How have the city gigs been?
Really good.
Yeah.
Like Mercury Lounge was kind of the next big step for us in terms of venue. And the first show we played there, like great showing. We sold out, had like an awesome time. So we'll continue to go back there, and then the classic places like the Red Lion and Arlene's Grocery and stuff. So just trying to get a few shows in to promote the album, get people to come out. But yeah, they've been good.
Hell yeah. You guys are hitting up all the old the venues that I used to see the Strokes playing at. I never got to see them. Yeah. I was too young. It was like in high school, but I remember they were playing at Arlene's Grocery, Mercury
we there once. Yeah. All those, that like circuit in the Lower East Side is like our bread and butter. Like that's where we try to go. Like Mercury Lounge is there. We're playing at Berlin in April. So that'll be a good time.
Yeah, so we got 2 upcoming shows in the city. If you want to catch us, I guess we're talking about it. So
yeah.
April 17th at Berlin. You guys will catch us.
April 17th, you said?
April 17th.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to be playing the whole album in that one, front to
cool.
back. Really excited for that. And then we're going to play at the Red Lion. I believe that's Saturday, May 22nd. Sounds right. If that is a Saturday, whatever the Saturday is
22nd
around.
or 23rd.
Yeah, whatever that Saturday is, we're going to be at the Red Lion, 7 to 10 at the Red Lion.
So that'll be more of a cover show. Like when we play Red Lion, it's more of like a cover bar. So we go there. It's a nice long 3-hour set, but we only play a couple originals. So that'll be like you Mr. Brightsides and you're all the small things and that kind of stuff.
Pop punk class.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do you mix the originals in? Do you have any like rhyme or reason to that?
We kind of try to just like I think play the ones that are. We have like a couple that I feel like we play like fairly often, like What Lies Ahead.
Roller Coaster Love we play all the time.
Roller Coaster Love.
Farewell.
Yeah.
But I think it's like the starting point is like what does the venue want, or like what is the crowd going to be like, and then we just decide like what percentage of covers versus originals, and then to keep people interested and engaged in both sides, it's usually like couple covers original, or like couple originals cover, and go back and forth, keep people interested for anywhere from 1 to 3 hours.
And then the ending is always the same. The ending is What Lies Ahead into Mr. Brightside. That's
9 times out of 10.
That's pretty much. Sometimes it's a sugar we're going down before What Lies Ahead. But those are typically the 2 that we close off with.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to play a bunch of like 3-hour-ish sets, and I really but they were similar, where they were like they didn't have to be covers, but if you played originals, you'd lose the crowd. You know?
Yeah, you gotta.
For 3 hours.
Like, that's such a big part of our stage persona, is just, like, people having fun, dancing, singing along, like, us interacting with the crowd. So, like, as much as we would love to just play all of our original music, like, we need to, get people partying to the songs I really love.
I'll say, though, I wonder if you guys agree with this. Like, Red Lion is kind of, like, a really good opportunity to work in the originals, because we're playing like all of these like crowd pleasing like covers, and that like wins the crowd over, and then we throw in like like Roller Coaster Love, and people and like seeing like a nice reaction to that is like it's cool.
Well, I always like Red Lion too, because it's like the one venue we play where we don't ever have to worry about selling tickets, because there's always a million people there, and most of them are, it's a popular bar that people just go to, just to hang out at. So like it's a really good opportunity, I think, for us to get out there, because most of the people that show up there are not people that we know. It's just people that were going to be there anyway. So I always like playing those venues, because like you get, in theory, a lot of outreach doing that. But.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. Yeah, and I experienced the same thing, especially what Paul was saying. I kind of liked to see like, all right, I have their attention right now, and I had the autonomy of being alone, so I didn't. I just was like playing whatever the fuck I wanted, like whenever I want. I could change the set list on a whim.
Yeah.
But like, it was fun to kind of see. Oh, I lost them. Like I played like 3 originals in a row. I lost them. I got to go back to the covers. But like sometimes you could kind of like ride that wave.
Yeah.
One time I went, and then it always ended up like I would do my like Sugar were going down at the pubs or whatever were always like the Irish folk music. And once I started with that, like the originals are out the window. I'm just gonna play like every Irish song.
The sing-alongs,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And one of my favorite shows, I was playing at this brewery, and it was like I'm playing for like an hour or two. Nobody came to see me, like of people that I knew. So it actually is kind of good because then you're just like on your own in the room a little bit.
Yeah.
And an Irish bachelor party came in, and they were like, "Yo, play." I'm like, "Oh, you guys came to the right fucking place." I had the dude. The dude had like one of those fake, like, well, I guess it's real because it's clothing, but he had one of those like coconut bikini things on and no shirt underneath. And I just was like, "Yo, this guy looks like he's having fun." And he was like, "It's my bachelor party." I'm like, "You're Irish?" And I had him like up on the. Like over by me, there was no stage, like singing Whiskey in the Jar. It was pretty fun. But yeah, those gigs are good. Sometimes it's fun to play for strangers. A lot of times it is.
We actually had a good experience at Red Lion where these pop punk fans came in that really liked us, and I guess we like said our name and kind of pitched ourselves a few times after playing some of the covers, and they reached out to us on Instagram, and we actually played at their wedding a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Definitely since the last time we were at your podcast, we didn't mention that, but
So whoever
For
needs
sure.
if you
How did the wedding go? I mean, I asked Greg on the side, but how was it? How was the wedding?
it was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was like
So fun.
100 plus people, probably around 100 people, and
Best paycheck we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
For a show.
Oh yeah.
if these guys are watching, we appreciate that still.
Yeah.
Did you play their first dance?
We
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
We
Wow.
learned like their wedding song. I
Dude,
forget what it was
I
called.
learned how to play piano just for that song.
No, it was really cool. Obviously, like a very different type of like setting and venue for us, but like they were just so cool about being like, this is about you guys like partying and having fun, and like everyone will do it, and like everyone in the crowd, every age, was just like, you know, we were doing "Killing in the Name" by Rage Against the Machine, and like grandmas were screaming along. Like it was awesome.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, definitely a good time.
Yeah, and they had seen you already, so it's not like they were just
knew what to
blindly.
Yeah, they know what to
Yeah.
expect.
For sure.
But we did like work with them really closely to be like, tell us exactly what songs you guys want, and you know, like what songs do we need to do that we don't know yet? Because like over time we try to expand our catalog one song by one. But
It was funny. I remember them being super chill because they were like, "You could play whatever you want," and we were like, "But we'll play whatever you want."
Yeah,
like, and we went back and forth a couple times where they were like, "Yeah, just make it like whatever you normally play," and we're like, "Okay, but we want to make sure we're playing stuff that you like, also, you know." So they were super cool. Yeah, they were good. It was a good show.
That was kind of like a fun experience for us too, like learning some songs that they suggested that we probably wouldn't normally have thought to play on our own. So
yeah.
Did you keep any in the set list?
Yeah, we actually we're gonna
for
play
sure.
some of them at our next couple shows, I think.
Yeah.
Flagpole sitta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lose Yourself. We learned for that
Lose
show.
Yourself.
Yeah.
I think we have like a list of songs we know, and we had a list of songs that were like, we'll learn this at one point, and we sent them both, and they just happened to like a lot of the ones that we were planning on learning. So it was
Cool.
a learning show for us, but turned out really well.
Nice long set too. It was like we played for like 4 hours
Yeah,
at the
so
at, like
fun.
it was
Yeah.
a long time. Which the long sets like
Yeah.
they're a lot of fun. I'm dripping sweat at the end of it, but like
I'm dripping sweat in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know about bringing up me and Evan's other band on the Final Call
Go ahead.
podcast. Just
No,
remind-
you can.
Mention
we
it.
we played a show for fucking my friend had like an engagement party
Oh yeah.
and just needed a band. And that was like, how long did we play? Like
Oh,
6 hours.
Yeah, at least, dude. That was a 5-6 hour show. Yeah.
Played
We took a little break in the middle, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Played
a
the
long
entire
set.
catalog of every single song we knew.
Yeah, we were
God.
bottom of the barrel,
Yeah.
scraping.
Thank God you guys have multiple singers, because there's no way someone would be able to sing for 6 hours.
Turn your voice out.
It's crazy.
But that was a fun show.
Yeah.
Even playing bass for 6 hours would hurt my
Anything,
fingers.
yeah, literally anything.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think I could play bass for like 4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Um,
I will say, like, going into the new album, like, obviously the biggest change is, like, Paul's in the band now, unbelievable musician, great songwriter.
Pop it up.
Stop it.
He was a huge free agent signing for us.
Yeah, very
Hell
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like I think there's a lot of great things about this album, but like you can definitely see each of our influences and like the things that we wanted to focus on individually as band members and like together as a group throughout the album for sure.
When did you start working on it?
So-
Years ago.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're putting a couple songs on the album that we released, I think, about 2 years ago. It was so the first one was High School Romance, which was a single we came out with, I think, around 2 years ago. But a lot of the songs that we had just recorded over the last year, we like kind of had the concepts for maybe even like 3 or 4 years ago, and just took a long time to really like put it together and mesh it all together. And
I think there was a little like gap with like me joining the band. There's a period where like we couldn't really like, even though people were writing and coming up with ideas, we couldn't really write stuff because I was still getting up to speed with like the repertoire you guys already
And
had.
we were having shows.
And we were having
like whenever
shows.
we have shows, we don't focus on writing and vice versa.
Mhm.
Really.
it's hard to
Do you
both.
play new songs before they're out?
No, we
Rarely.
used to. We've done that a couple times, and like I don't know. I feel like it doesn't ever go over as well as we think that it will. So we try to save them for like the show that we just played. We played it the day after we released a single. So like we'll do it right away after the song comes out. But I think we realized like it's better to just save it until people have the opportunity to listen to it. I guess
I agree. I do the same thing, but then
Yeah.
I've been in the same boat. I've been sitting on stuff for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
But it's
Greg was
worth it, I
saying,
think.
we had 2 singles basically, and then like we're calling the album Eden, and like one of the reasons was because my parents moved out to Eden, Utah, and we went there as a band and just like converted their garage into a studio, and like 90% of the other songs on the album were kind of like workshop there, and it was like a
Sick.
combination of us just saying like, hey, I have this melody or I
Yeah.
have this idea, and like bringing it to the table. And then some were more like, all right, this is an acoustic song I wrote. It's basically fully fleshed out. Like, do we need to do anything with it?
When was that set workshop?
That was probably
Workshop.
That was last May.
Yeah, it was like
Okay.
Yeah, it was last May. So that was Perfect Day and High School Romance had come out at that point. And we had a couple. Yeah, like Pat said, we had a couple other written like almost fully, and then I think we worked on at least like 6 or 7 songs over the course of that long weekend, and like that was where the majority of everything came together.
Because we just don't have a lot of opportunities to get the 4 of us like for days at a time, like workshopping songs. So it was really cool to just like be at the house and then like walk into the garage, and that's our workshopping / studio time.
For sure. And did you? So you mentioned you already had Perfect Day and High School Romance, right? So
Yeah.
were there? What do you remember? Like which songs were the first ones that were kind of fleshed out besides those? Like where did we start? So you come into it, and you already recorded those. You didn't re-record those.
No,
the album.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Those were done.
So you have those 2 singles on there. Do you remember like which one was like the first? Like where did you start for?
I mean, I would
You
say
Can't Save
that.
Me.
Yeah.
What was the next round? It was You Can't Save
We did
Me.
You Can't Save Me and Chelsea
10 out of
together.
Chelsea.
Those were the
Sticks and Stones
2.
was pretty early.
I think and 10.
I mean, our next single after that, like post the workshop, was Chelsea, which is like like a Noah Kahn / Green Day Mayday Parade vibe. And
But that was pretty recently, right?
that was more recent. So that was probably like one of the first
October.
ones that we worked on.
Yeah, they
like
came
in
out in
that
the
session,
fall, yeah.
actually released it.
Well, we recorded Chelsea and You Can't Save Me before Utah even.
Yeah.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. We recorded that in like last
Okay.
April.
So, yeah.
I
So
think
those were definitely finished, and then we kind of just so that's 4 of the 13 that are on the album. So I think we worked on pretty much all of the other ones in Utah, and then recorded them over the course of like last summer and fall.
All right, so let's start. If you guys want to, let's start with the first 2. If you want to talk about Perfect Day and High School Romance, were they recorded at the same time?
Sure. So we went to a different studio for those 2 than we did for the rest of the album,
Okay.
and yeah, they were recorded, if not at the same time, I think within a couple months of each other.
Yeah.
And those were songs that I both kind of had the idea for originally. When I write songs, I tend to just, I'm the lead guitar player, so I just tend to write riffs and kind of just build a song around some riffs that I write. So I remember Perfect Day was written when me, Pat, and Paul were hanging out one day and just messing around, fiddling around. I was like, hey guys, what do you think about this riff? And they're like, yeah, that's cool. And we kind of just started formulating a song. Now the problem is we don't get together as often to write songs. As Pat was saying, we have shows, we all have full-time jobs. So, we're sitting on these like recordings for a while. Then when we finally got together to kind of flesh it out with Evan and the drums, it came together. We're like, hey, let's just get some studio time as quick as we can and hit it. So we went to Zinn Records in Long Island, which is, I think it's near Riverhead, his studio, and recorded that song along with High School Romance, another one that I kind of fleshed out the idea for. And it's nice to, like, I like have an idea with the riff, and I feel like right away Pat's like, I got some lyric ideas to slap on there. Let's make a bridge or something, and it really becomes collaborative from there. I rarely have like the 100% full song. Maybe I'll have like 25-50% of it, and that's when the whole band comes in.
I mean, none of us do. I would say, like, especially with this album, like every album or EP, we've been getting better with it. But like this album was like totally collaborative. Like you can probably attribute the person to like bringing in the initial idea, or maybe like a riff or a set of lyrics or something. But it was like, we can't do what the other guys in the band do. So we're like, this is kind of what we're looking for. This is what we want it to sound like, and then we flesh it out together and like give each other feedback, and it's awesome. It's great.
I love to hear that. I feel like that is something that's good. I wouldn't say it's like, it's a good indicator that you guys are going to stay together for a longer amount of time, because you all get to like contribute to the final product, right? And you get to put your influence on it.
Exactly.
How do you compare those two songs to the second two? You said they were Chelsea and what was the other one? Life of the Party?
No,
You Can't Save Me. Those
You Can't
first,
Save Me.
I don't know what these guys think, but those first two, Perfect Day and High School Romance, were definitely more punky than the majority of the rest of the album, I would say. Like, because we wrote those first, right? And that was kind of within our normal sound scope, like, that it's a song you would expect to hear from us, I would say, between those two. And then after that was when we started kind of branching out to these, like, Chelsea is very acoustic. It's still, I would still call it pop punk, but it's very acoustic, and it gets kind of like a little grungy at the end. And then You Can't Save Me is very like, it's alternative. I would even call it, yeah. So that those Chelsea and You Can't Save Me, I think, were the beginning of us being like, oh, well, let's start writing stuff that we don't normally write. That was when we were experimenting with different sounds and things like that.
So I don't come from like a pop punk background like you guys. You know what I mean? Like I learned to play bass from playing like Grateful Dead music, and I could like play way more like rock, like classic rock, jam band type stuff. And I think like Perfect Day and High School Romance were written like really right when I was coming in.
Yeah. Even before.
Yeah. And like I think I personally like to like kind of take those more traditional pop punk songs and try to like maybe push them in more of like a different direction, you know what I mean? Or like kind of add elements of like some of the music I'm like more used to playing and stuff. So I think it, I don't know. What's your guys' opinion? I think
you're saying you did that on some of your songs, maybe on the album.
Well, I think you definitely steer in that direction. Like Paul, I mean, we're talking about bringing Paul into the band. Like how big of an addition was. It's just because he's an amazing musician. Like he's one of the most incredible musicians I've ever met in my life, and like it's because and that. Like, he had a lot of ideas for how we were going to write songs. Like, he wrote a lot of bridges with us and stuff. And I feel like when you add a voice like that, it's definitely going to change the vibe of certain songs, which, I mean, worked out, I think. Like, it's good to have those different influences added.
Yeah, and I think that's what's, like, cool about this album is, like, this is, like, kind of like a departure, maybe.
100%. Like, and I think, like, to go back to your original question, Richie, is, like, Perfect Day and High School Romance are like the most pop punk songs on the album.
Yeah.
Or like two of the three. So like I think it's good to kind of like, that was the transition period where we were like, this is Final Call, like we know our roots are pop punk, but as we started to write this album and like pull it together, we were like, oh, we're doing indie rock, folk rock, grunge, classic rock. So it's like not a lot of the other songs really follow that same pattern. And to Paul's point, it's like kind of a departure for us.
It's kind of funny, I feel like, because we said two of the three, because there's a song on the album called 10 out of 9 that is it's like straight pop punk, and that one was sort of like, because we had already written a lot of these like alternative grungy songs, we were like in the middle of departing from the punk sound, and then Greg was like, why don't we let's just write like the most punk song of all time. So that was us like getting back to the roots of what it was, you know. So
but
we went so far
to, like, make it better.
Yeah. We went so far in one direction that we were like, it's now interesting to go back to what songs that we used to write. So that was pretty cool.
I noticed that myself listening to the album. Like you could definitely feel a push and pull between the new sound and the old sound.
Yeah.
And with 10 out of 9, even where it's placed on the album, it like is like a callback, but it feels like you're like putting on the old jacket for a minute.
Exactly.
And like I really did feel that. Like I listened to it while I was running today, and when it came back on, I was like, this is cool. It's like you're dipping your toe, like you're switching back in for a second, and then you're pushing over on another corner in a different way. And I love that. I mean, to what Paul mentioned before, I mean, the Grateful Dead themselves did that, right? Like each member was bringing their own influence. Like Phil was super into jazz, Jerry was super into bluegrass, and like, I don't know, Bob was into country and western, and then you get this like mixture of all the stuff. So it's cool that you kind of step into that world for a second, and yeah, I can definitely hear that. And there's way more than just one. You got the grungy, you got the indie, you got the folky. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think the song
go
that,
ahead.
like encapsulates that push and pull is kind of like Monkey Business, the last one on the album, which kind of like started as I wrote the music for it, Pat wrote the lyrics, and I was picturing it as almost an ode to Green Day, even though it's one of the most recent ones we recorded. I wrote it when I was first writing music with these guys, and I was like trying to write something that's like what fits this band, you know, what are we into, you know? And so I wrote it like very much inspired by like Green Day's music, but then it has that ending that I think is like a little bit more I don't know, I don't have good words.
Progressive rock.
Yeah, so yeah, like different, you know, and it kind of I think is a good marriage of like, you know, like our like traditional pop punk style and like maybe some of the new like musical ideas we're kind of like trying out on this album. You know?
Our latest single, by the way, out now. Stream.
Yeah, also true. Yeah.
Out on all platforms.
Got to plug us when you can, you know.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Go check it out, and I agree. Monkey
Final
Business is another one like that for sure, that I definitely specifically remember hearing that push and pull.
Yeah.
Just to get back to the original question one more time.
What was
Yeah.
the original
I think he was asking about High School Romance and Perfect Day.
right.
We can get back,
yeah.
I guess, and go a little bit more.
I mean, my questions don't matter,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, they're really just
Yeah,
to
great
get the
questions.
conversation going, you know? I won't forget what it was, but say whatever you want.
I know, I just wanted to add, I know that these guys were talking about, like, we all have our own, interests in different genres that we really, like, push into this album, which I think is awesome that we did that and branched into some different genres. Those two songs specifically, I wouldn't just, like, throw them aside and say they're the same as what we've always done, though, because I think they're a big step forward.
No, they're a step forward.
As far as quality of, all the instruments, the drums are better. They're, more intricate parts. I think it's the most riffy songs that we've had. So if you're a fan of, just pop punk music, I would say you got to check out High School Romance. You got to check out Perfect Day. But if you want to hear some different sounds and just, different types of rock, you want to check out the whole album.
Like, keep
Just
listening to
good
the
stuff.
album.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep it on.
That's all I'll say. I think we probably will move on to the next topic, though. Whatever you
Well,
got.
yeah, and I think a good natural next topic too, though, is like this is an album that you should listen to the whole thing. You guys intentionally made it as an album that flows, and that's a good call out because I forgot to even mention that. But yeah, those songs have like they're perfectly placed where they are. They're not. They're good. But do you want to talk about the concept of the album?
That was a big topic of conversation. Yeah.
So I'll say and that's going to be our big push to people is to try to listen front to back, because this is our first concept album. It really is a concept album. All of the songs are connected. A lot of them lyrically have themes that kind of go throughout. And then to your point, we tried to place the songs in a way that it's it makes sense, has callbacks, goes into the next thing. And we were also just shooting the shit, talking about how it's Eden, what are the connections to the Garden of Eden story. And we were trying to literally say what are the messages of these songs and what are the topics in the Garden of Eden story that we can kind of cover in that order. So very conceptual, but if you listen to it in that way too, you can kind of get a story out of it.
You want to elaborate a little bit, or you want to keep it a mystery for the
No,
listener?
I mean, it's, there's themes of, being placed in an unfamiliar world, rebelling, losing friends and family in that process, ignoring societal pressures to, do what makes you happy. So it's, obviously not every lyric of every song is going to fit in that way, but it's just generally the way the songs work, and it's the things that we're talking about, I think, kind of fit into that story of,
because we're all, in our mid to late 20s, I should say, now. We're not 25 anymore. But I think that's sort of the vibe of the album as a whole and the theme of the majority of the songs. Because we didn't know the overall theme when we were writing the songs. We were just, sort of writing them. But they all sort of fell into this motif of, we're growing up a little bit. It's because the album starts out with Perfect Day. That's it's you're happy. That's everything. It's a bit of a sarcastic song, but that's sort of where it starts out, and that's how we thought to tie it back to the Garden of Eden story. Is your place. You start out in this idyllic world, where everything seems perfect, and then you start to realize there are cracks and things start to come up that challenge you. And your environment expands, and that's sort of what I feel like we have all gone through a little bit, and that's what the majority of the songs on this album are about, is learning how to grow up. You're starting out in a place where you're very innocent, and you don't know all the things that are going to come, and then eventually you go through all these trials, and you come out the other end changed, in for better or worse. I think if you listen to the whole album front to back, that's sort of the vibe that you'll get is maturing and learning how to get older and grow up and deal with the consequences that come from that.
Yeah. I got that, and I got that from the album, by the way, without even reading I did read the description, but actually after I listened to it the first time.
That's good.
So, I went in just listening blind, and the one thing I actually thought about, I didn't even think about the Paul being added into the mix of influences. I just thought that you all had grown, not even grown up really, but grown, right? And in terms of musicality, but that was also a theme in the album too, which I thought was cool because it kind of matches the music itself. There's just growth in there, which is cool.
Yeah, for sure.
One cool thing, to bring it all the way back up to the top, is that you guys started with an instrumental. How'd you come up with that idea?
Paul?
So I wanted to give a little cohesion to the album, because I'll say to go back to what everyone else was saying, we were just writing songs about where we were at in life, and then we realized there was this theme to it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of wrap it all up in some sort of a motif, a musical motif. And I was thinking of the intro to Perfect Day, right? The start of Perfect Day, which we knew we wanted to start the album because, you know, it's Eden, you start in paradise, you start with Perfect Day. That intro riff, the da-na-na-na-na-na-na, and then the end riff of Monkey Business, the da-ba-da-da-da-da, it's kind of they're almost the same riff, just to two different time signatures. So I wanted to marry those two riffs. What I came up with was kind of the intro track is 4/4, but we play it as 3/3 and 2. So it has that 3/3/4 feel, which is at the end of Monkey Business, but it still has the 4/4 time signature, which helps it flow into Perfect Day. And we use that riff, the da 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 da, right, in that intro track, just to kind of give it like a cohesion and a sort of like bookend where it opens with that, closes with that. You hear that in Perfect Day, and it kind of musically links the album. Even though Perfect Day and Monkey Business were written completely independently of each other.
But
When you listen to it in a loop, have you guys done that before yet?
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It would work.
Does?
I mean,
yeah.
If people
I
did
love that. That's like something that I pay attention to in albums a lot because of the podcast. This time I didn't get a chance to like loop it as many times as I usually would, so I didn't pick up on that, but I do usually pay attention to see how the album feels when it ends to when it starts.
Wow, cool.
Especially in this, I think since CDs came out, that's important, because growing up having a CD in the car, it's just nice when the CD ends and that starts back up again. If it sucks you right back in, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, let us know if it sounds good.
I definitely will. I'm sure it does, though, based on what Paul was just saying. Yeah.
It's the same chords too. I use the same chords for the end of Monkey Business and that. So I'm like kind of because the chords of Perfect Day aren't the same chords as that intro track, but they're both in the key of E, and I think it should work as in a loop. Hopefully,
I'm sure it does. I didn't pay attention to it. I did hear it one time, but I just didn't like pay attention close enough. I was running, you know.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But that's cool. So listeners out there, you listened for that and put it in the comments, or let Final Call know on Instagram or online. You think it loops well?
Let us know anything. Any thoughts that you have?
Right.
DM us on Instagram. We would love to talk to you about anything in the world.
Yeah. Likewise. Feel free to comment.
Final Call music, baby. All day.
And then we talked about Perfect Day. Do you guys want to say anything else about that before I don't want to skip over it.
No, I mean, thematically, it is a sarcastic song, so it's called Perfect Day, but it's really about not a perfect day, I would say. And I wrote most of the lyrics, I believe, to that song, so it's kind of like brushing off the things throughout your day that are troubling you. You know, one of the lyrics is fake a smile, right? So it's like, you know, kind of just brushing it off, fake a smile, move on when something bothering you, but hopefully you end up with feeling better after coming through these adversities. There's some sarcastic elements to it, you know. I was gonna say the vibe of the chorus is like, you know, like if you're walking to work and you step in a puddle or something and you're like, oh, perfect, like that, like that's what it's supposed to be, where it's just like some annoying shit happens to you and you're just like, oh, great, awesome, and that's kind of what the lyrics are describing.
For sure. I like this track. I mean, like you said, I've heard it before because it was a single, and yeah, it's solid. And then Life of the Party. This is actually one of my favorite ones on the whole album. I really dig this track.
Cool.
Yeah, tell us about that one.
Yeah, I guess.
You dig it.
Paul and I wrote this one together. It started out when we were on the Utah trip. I remember because I think so. I'm drums. I play guitar, but I don't play guitar very well, and I don't know what notes or anything. So sometimes I just pick up a guitar and I'll mess around with it, and just I think I was doing that with Paul, and then he played something, and I was like, wait, that chord is sick. Like let play that again, you know. And then, so it really just started out with me liking one chord, and then we developed the rest of the the music from there. It was the chord in the intro and the chorus, and then we just figured out what worked with the rest of it. And then we wrote lyrics sort of alongside that, but after the fact. We wrote more of it like when we were in the studio together. But yeah, that one is sort of about. I mean, it's another very sarcastic song. Like it's called "Life of the Party," and it's about the feeling, like inadequacy. I would say maybe it's sort of like if you've ever like been out, you know, with your friends or whatever, and maybe you've had a little too much to drink or something, and you start talking too much or saying things that you know you feel embarrassed about. It's sort of like that vibe where it's like the main lyric of the song is "I can't be the life of the party." It's describing some guy that you know feels like he has to be super outgoing and he feels like he has to be the life of the party, but it's you know it's a lot of pressure, and obviously you don't like that. It's not something that you should ever feel like you have to entertain everyone. But that's sort of the vibe of it, where it's just like, you know, you feel like the spotlight is on you when really, you know, you're the only one that thinks that, and you sort of get in your head and you're overthinking everything that you're saying, and you sort of get that feeling of self-consciousness. So yeah, I feel like we've all experienced that before, so that song kind of came together. I wrote most of the lyrics on that one, but I know Pat contributed a lot to that one as well. I mean, everyone contributed their own instruments to it for sure. But that one was it went through a lot of phases, I would say, because there's a lot of different parts to that song, and like they all came together individually. Like we wrote one part, and then we were like, okay, how about a verse? And then we would write the verse, and then we got an idea for a bridge, and we were like, let's do that. So yeah, I don't know if you want to add anything.
I would just add that this is our indie rock song.
Oh yeah. So that one.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like I you know, writing this one. I listen to a lot of these, you know, indie rock, modern indie, that kind of thing, and that's the vibe that I wanted it to have. So this is definitely our song that sounds the most like that sort of genre. And yeah, I think the instruments kind of back that up as well.
Very dancey.
Yeah, it's a fun
Probably
song.
the most dancey song on the album.
It's a party song.
Yeah, it literally is a
party song.
Yeah.
Ironically,
Yeah,
it's ironically a party song. Yeah,
But like a cool party song.
Yeah.
It's not like it's dancey, but it's like it's got like a pocket. It's dancey. I guess dancey is right. It's not like boom.
we were
boom,
moving the
boom,
most
boom.
to that one in the studio. I remember when we like, because you know you record your parts in the studio and then you listen to it back, and every time we listened to that one back, like one of us was always getting up and dancing around, and like it was a lot of fun to record that.
I think I was in the vocal booth by myself, and I was like, guys, I wish you could see me right now because I was just like, while I was recording.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're trying to do there with that song is like, you know, happiness is a warm gun. You know,
Of
like
course. Yeah.
like that sort of thing where it's like a happy song. He's talking about like killing himself. This is like a party song, and you're talking about like
The struggles
I fucking
of
hate.
partying, yeah.
I hate fucking going to parties and embarrassing myself.
Yeah.
You know? Like
Social anxiety or
Yeah.
something.
So social anxiety. It's about feeling like, and the bridge is like useless. I'm a burden. Like it's all that stuff where it's just like you feel like your friends hate you, even though none of them feel that way. You just think that, you know, like
We're not really this depressed. We just write songs.
it just comes
I'll
out.
try that.
I guess, you know.
Well, when you write multiple pop punk albums that are about like girls in high school and stuff, you gotta
stop to start talking about real shit.
Yeah, like being depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that one. That was a lot of fun to write. I'm really proud of that one. I hope it does well when it comes out. I'm glad you said you liked it, but
Me too. I mean, I vibe with it, like the sound of it for sure, and the point of it as well. And I didn't pick up. Oh, I picked up a little bit on that juxtaposition of the dancey verse, not dancey. But I listen to a lot of that kind of music anyway, so I didn't pick up on it being specifically party. What came to my mind was, and I had sent this feedback to you all when I listened to the songs the first time. Over a bunch of these songs on the album, I get a vibe from you all that, not in like a hard sound, except a little bit in this song, of the Kings of Leon in their second and third album era.
cool.
And I don't know how much you guys know about them or not, but their first album was like super like southern rock meets, they called them like the Southern Burnt Strokes, right? But it was like very aggressive kind of country rock, almost like punky country rock. And then their second album sounds like Life of the Party. And it has such a cool vibe to it, and the bass and the drums on it are like some of my favorite on any album, that second album. And then the third one, they start playing more like festivals and stuff, and I didn't like that album until I saw them at a festival, and I was like, oh shit, this actually works. Like all of those like guitar riffs that just kind of go out there. And then the fourth album is the one where they became famous, and
that's
fuck that one. Okay. But yeah,
that's cool.
The first three were good though. You guys should definitely, all four of you should listen to the second album, because I feel like you're on that wavelength of musicality right now. Especially like the third album too. Like they'll have some albums where they just like are like scream, or some tracks will be like screaming, and then some they'll be like doing a salsa thing.
Yeah.
And it
that's what we're
it's
going.
a good album.
Cool.
You Can't Save Me. Is this the one with Greg's backup vocals, or is that Perfect Day? I couldn't remember.
Well, Greg's all over the place, man. He's got backups in a
Well, there's like there's
of
some. I know he has a bunch of them, but there's ones where he's like on the whole thing.
Life of the
Is that this
Party,
one?
High School
Or you're
Romance.
like shit talking. There's one where you're like
that's
reinforcing.
High School Romance.
High School
Oh, that's
Romance.
High School Romance.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah.
the next one. So You Can't Save Me. Let's talk about that one first before we move on to that.
That's you.
Yeah, so I wrote the music for it. Pat wrote the lyrics. I kind of don't have much to say about it. I kind of.
It's very like grunge. I would say it's like the song that we were listening to that I was like, I just hear kind of like 90s Foo Fighters, kind of like Soundgarden-esque vibes. A lot of like really powerful guitar riffs. And I would say this is like lyrically the part of the album where we start to get like into the depressive mode. So we're like, it's very much about like trying to face struggles on your own, even when there are people there who have offered to help you. And it's kind of like the sarcastic, like, oh no, you're too good for that. Like you don't need the help there. But I think with this song, like, other than it kind of just being grunge and a little bit different, like the second verse we made very different. We like brought down the volume a lot, changed the melody, and then in the guitar solo we went from the guitar solo to like an extended like bridge part. So like was a good example of us kind of just throwing in different types of music even within the same song, or different types of variations.
I just want to add, I got a little like Alice in Chains type of vibe
Alice in Chains,
to this one, which I think is cool. Like, something different for us. But
For sure. Yeah, I'm remembering this now. This is why I don't need my notes. But yeah, this song is good. I remember that melody and like how it drops down low, and I was like, oh shit. That's something you all haven't done before, as far as I remember, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's
And
one
then-
of the things
Yeah,
that we tried a lot of new things on this. Like, this was one of the earlier songs that we wrote for this album, and it was kind of cool because this song has a solo and a bridge. And I feel like in the past, maybe we would have been like, oh, we'll just throw a solo, like Greg, just solo. Like I'll just tell Greg, like, I don't have an idea for a bridge, so just do something. Yeah, yeah. So we're just like, Greg, do something, like figure this out, and we would leave it at that. But for this one, we were like, Greg had an idea for a solo, and then we were like, well, let's add this other bridge to it. So we didn't slack off at all. We were like, let's keep going.
Who brings the Alice in Chains influence into it? Was that you, Paul? They said that you wrote the song.
I mean, I think kind of you guys more.
You introduced me to Alice in Chains.
Kind of had the vibe of it, but
I actually kind of just like wrote a bass line, and then I wrote like chords to fit that bass line, and I kind of didn't have Like this one's very collaborative. I didn't really
we
have...
probably just like kind of transitioned more into that based on the chords.
It's possible I just heard what he had and was like,
yeah,
this is Alice in Chains, so I'm gonna like write.
But this isn't even the only song on the album that is like Alice in Chains inspired. So yeah, but yeah, kind of a mix.
Yeah. I mean, I get that with the collaboration too, and something else that I noticed that you all did on this album was you start the songs like there's one song at least where Evan is just starting on the drums, and then like there's like some building up of different ideas that are different than just like the typical BAM. And you guys didn't always do a typical BAM in your past songs, but on this one you can definitely feel you like
less so. Yeah, I think that's right. Concept album piece of it too is like usually albums you see like transition songs or like space noises for Blink-182, like whatever it is. So I think like the Welcome to Eden intro track it's not a transition song obviously, but it's like a good example of kind of like
it a transition.
It's kind of like
you silence
from nothing.
It's a musical motif, and then I think there's just like coincidentally there were a lot of songs that we were writing where we're like we should like based on the song previously, like we should build it up in this way, or like, you know, it makes more sense to have Evan rip this drum part and then we all kind of come in with the riff one bar later, or whatever it is. So
when did you come up with all of that? Did you come up with it in the studio as you were putting the songs together, or did you go in with a plan?
No, it was in the studio. Once we started hearing everything, we started kind of thinking in that way. Once we realized we were making an album, I guess we were like kind of like thinking in terms of like, all right, well, how is this stuff gonna like fit together?
But some of it is also just like Sticks and Stones is a good example. Like Evan starts it, and then like the end is just me for a couple words. Like I remember us being like, what makes the most sense for this song?
Yeah, that's what comes out with us. The process being so collaborative is like, we just mess around a lot. Like we'll just, maybe one of us has an idea. I know I have a lot of ideas that are shit, and like we try them and we're like, yeah, no, that was bad. Like let's not do that again. But eventually one of those will maybe be good, you know. So you just kind of like do stuff. And I think it's trial and error, and that's like we're all just friends. So like no one is ever going to be like mad at someone for suggesting something that's bad. Like so all of us will. You know, we feel very free, at least I do. I'm sure you guys feel the same way, where it's just like, I thought of this, let's try it. Oh, it didn't work? Fine, let's move on and try something else, you know?
For sure. Do you all want to say anything about High School Romance? About the placement of it? Because it's coming up as the next track.
Yeah, I mean, again, that was one of the early ones that we wrote. And I guess to just add in, so we went to an original studio in Long Island for those two, and then all the other tracks, we went to Farrow's studio in Connecticut, which we had done some work with them on our previous album as well. And, you know, they were a huge help. We'll shout out Pacemaker.
Love Pace.
They were a big help with like helping us kind of sort the order of the album as well, kind of helping with the flow. We always kind of bounce off ideas from him because he's pretty smart with thinking about those types of things. But yeah, I mean, High School Romance, I think again it's one of our more like catchy songs, really riff based. So if you're into that type of thing, you were mentioning the backup vocals. That's probably one of the songs that we probably thought about doing the backup vocals the longest for, and just adding another element with that, a little bit more shout based pop punk.
There's like literally back and forth between Greg and I.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like you're saying, I forget what you said. We
yell at each other anyway.
Yeah. It's like you're like saying like I'm a piece of shit, and he's like,
you're worth nothing. I'm worth nothing.
Yes,
yeah. So that's what we were going for.
It's great having Greg is like the voice in the back
in the back.
I mean, that's exactly what we're going for, right? It's like in your head, the voice in your head. Greg is the voice in my head, so
absolutely.
When Pat's having a bad day, he just hears my voice.
Then
it feels even worse.
I mean, lyrically for that one, like I think, and it's similar with like 10 out of 9. Like it's a little bit sillier for the most part. Just like this is the girl that I love, and like she doesn't love me back, which is like pretty typical pop punk. And then like in the bridge, we start to get like a little bit more like metaphorical and like New World Order and like fuck this and what are we gonna do in the future. But it's just like a really like strong, catchy song, and like we love playing it live. We play it live all the time now, and I think it's like good that it's at towards the front of the album, but like still, you know, not the first song or anything. Like it still keeps our classic Final Call vibe, you know, leading into the second half.
Yeah, and I'd say I've gotten the most positive feedback on this song out of like the ones you've released so far. So that's cool that people like it.
That's awesome.
That's
man.
cool.
I like when people like our song.
Yeah, me too. I really like the two singing dynamic in that. You all should do that.
Appreciate that.
It's
Like
cool.
it adds a whole nother like layer of texture to the song. What remains is this one the is this the one that's like the heavier one, the heaviest one? Yeah. I like this one.
This verges into metal for sure, especially in the. I was listening to a lot. I've been really into Sleep Token and President and other like metal bands recently. Also, a huge My Chemical Romance fan, and they have some like really great like metal bridges and stuff. So the song is just like it's very groovy, like very bass driven, but then power chord heavy in the choruses, and then we literally just go into a metal breakdown. So it's very different than our other songs, but it's kind of just about like in that phase of growing up, you start to realize that some of the people that you thought were there for you are not there for you, or people you thought were really close friends are not close friends. And you start to think like, why am I putting the effort in on my side if it's not going to be reciprocated? So that kind of fits into that like vitriolic, like metal type of vibe that we were going for. So yeah, it's a little different than the other ones.
This is also one of my favorite ones. Now I'm remembering. Like this is one of the ones that Greg sent me to listen to before you guys sent it this time to me too. Yeah, the early mixes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I also get like a indie rock vibe from this too. Like indie rock, like a
makes sense.
Well, that's
indie rock meets metal, like Queens of Stone.
Yeah. That's how I sort of wrote the drum part for it. Was like it reminded me of like an Arctic Monkeys song.
Yeah, like that.
I was like, the sound is very stripped down, and it's like it's like if the Strokes were angry all the time. Like
right, or that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like it's a very stripped down sound. The drum part is extremely simple, but that is what makes it effective, you know?
Yeah, I think when I wrote the riff, I was thinking of like "Do I Want to Know" or like one of the other. Songs.
It does have that kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, but then it's cool when it gets metal in the breakdown. You're almost like not expecting it, but like it's a natural leading point for the song. This one and the next one are definitely the next one is Sticks and Stones, right? Yeah, those are definitely the two most aggressively angry songs on the album, and I think that comes through.
Also one of my favorites. I like angry shit, you know.
Yeah, come on, it's punk rock.
I really like the come on when you're like come on. That switch up.
I remember in the studio, I fell asleep when Pat was recording that, and then I woke up and we were like listening to it back, and I heard that in the song, and I was like, what the heck? Like, when did that happen? That's sick as hell. Like, I didn't hear him record that, so it was a surprise to me, and it was awesome. It was the best way to wake up.
Yeah, I think it was a natural transition because I just happened to say that live a lot, like when we go into like a breakdown or something to get the crowd into it. But I just felt like it needed some sort of like, all right, we're about to really break it down, like.
Yeah,
it's a really good alarm if you can isolate that and just play it on repeat. It's a really good way to wake up in the morning and just have Pat yelling "come on" at you.
Hell yeah, or a good text tone to just have like during a meeting at work, you know.
Yeah.
When did you write What Remains in the grand scheme of the album?
So
dude, that was
that was one of the ones that like Greg was saying, like I wrote like the riff and some of the melodies like probably years ago, and like I had it like in my voice recording notes. We maybe workshopped it a couple times, but then once we actually got to Eden, Utah, and we were like working on the songs, we were like, what are the songs that we have the most progress on that we can kind of like bring to the table? So that was one of them, that we at least had a riff, a couple melodies, and then like, this is what we're thinking of. But I think we just like, we wrote the metal breakdown kind of like as part of writing it, you know, like I don't think it was like fully fleshed out yet.
Yeah.
So I'd say grand scheme of things started earlier, but really was like finalized around the same time as the other ones.
Got it. As a sidebar, unless anybody has anything on their mind that they want to say quick, I won't forget what my sidebar. So let it out.
You can go to the sidebar.
Go ahead.
Sidebar it.
How, do you recommend? So this Eden trip is unique to the podcast, right? At least, I mean, I've heard of it. Like Led Zeppelin, when they recorded Led Zeppelin 3, went to that lodge and wherever the hell, I don't know where, Brandow, I think it is, because they have the Brandow stomp. But like, how was that trip for you guys as a band? Like, did you feel like that also contributed to the different sound, or you think you already were there and this was just
Dude, it was the Beatles going to India, man. That's
right, yeah. Was it?
So Eden as a town, like it's an hour away from the Salt Lake City airport. It's called Eden because it's supposed to be like the Garden of Eden. There's mountains and valleys just surrounding it. So you like walk out of your parents' house and you could just do a 360 of the mountains. Which, like, that is not at all what we're used to. Like, we're used to being in the city and or Long Island. So I think, like, we just knew that we would be in a different creative headspace there. And I had also, like, brought some ideas for some of these songs just from me being there with my parents. And, like, I was like, all right, I'm going to pull out an acoustic guitar and, like, start to write, like, the way that I'm feeling right now based on the environment. So,
Great question, by the way.
I would say this album would not exist without that trip. Yeah. Like that trip is like where all of this came together. And I mean, it's just like, also like, you know, we're not a professional band, you know, like we all have jobs. Like getting the time to just 24/7 have the whole studio set up so that we just wake up, fucking eat some eggs and then go start playing music is like massive to get like creative ideas and stuff, and anyone could just bring up something and we'll just start jamming on it and figure out like how do we make this a song.
I feel like what we've heard about like those bands going to those places or like being in the studio was like it was very low pressure. Like we were like, yeah, we can go and do this whenever we want, but like if we're hungry, we want to have a few drinks, we want to go wherever, we'll go do it and we'll come back to it later. So I think it was just like no one had any expectations. We were like, let's just get in a room, pull together what we've done already and try to write a few songs, and it worked out.
Hell yeah.
I think we all said it earlier, but like having that time to be like, hey, we're not gonna try to learn covers for a show. Like we're gonna, not only this trip, but like over the next few months, just write these songs. And obviously that trip was like the epicenter of it, but taking that time to just be like, hey, we're focusing on songwriting, that's what really got it all done. Because some of these were like concepts and thoughts that were just floating out there in space for years, and then to actually get together and do it and then bring that to the studio, it was just an awesome experience over the last year.
Hell yeah. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for me, as I've grown as a songwriter, I need something like that way more. Like it's my bar gets higher and higher for what I want to write myself, and then I have to consciously almost turn off like the faucet, I call it, of songwriting, where I'm like, I can't write songs right now. Like I have to edit the podcast, I have to record my album, I have to do the Cub Scouts or whatever. Like I don't have time for that shit right now.
Yeah.
And
but that's why you gotta like voice record it or whatever. So you're that's what I do.
I do too, but then eventually I'm just like, whatever, fuck it. It's for the ants. I'll just say it's for the dust. I'll sing it today and then it's gone. But then it goes away, you know? So you got to like turn that faucet back on. So this is taking the space to let that happen, to let those muses dance, you know?
One of the songs on the album, and I don't remember which one, I like thought of something in the shower, and I just got out of the shower and sang it into my phone, and then continued my shower. But like, if you don't like do that, you're gonna lose your thought.
Yeah.
So,
That was the I'm in the shower song. We have that on the album.
Yeah.
It's called It's called My Name is Greg and I'm in the shower. Yeah. It's called I lost the shampoo. Yeah.
Don't drop the soap.
Don't drop the soap.
No, I wasn't gonna.
Well, the worst version of that is like I've had a couple songs that came to me in dreams, so I'm like, I gotta fucking write this down immediately, or I'm gonna forget.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's I've had that. I forgot a bunch that way.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I've ever written down a song from my dream, but that actually comes up on the podcast a lot, where people. Yeah, they'll have dreams about a song and they wake up and write it down. I did have a dream once where I played guitar with Paul McCartney, and that doesn't happen often.
That's cool.
Where you have that kind of dream, like I woke up and I was like, I was fucking jamming with Paul McCartney. Hell yeah.
Send me back.
Yeah. And he actually was someone that wrote songs in his dreams too, which is interesting.
He did. Really? That's true.
Mm-hmm. The album artwork, is that in Eden? Or is it somewhere else?
In Utah.
Yeah,
Also,
that was
taken
cool.
at the top of Powder Mountain.
That was the same trip. Yeah,
And literally no effects. We went to the top of the mountain to hang out, and then it was the craziest fog we've ever seen in our lives.
Really?
So we took a picture of like Paul walking through. I mean, we took a bunch of pictures, but like it's probably gonna be like it's just like fog, and it's like either one person or like the band just in the fog, like trying to navigate your way through. And I feel like that's like perfect for what we're going for.
For sure. I think it matches perfectly. It doesn't look like the pictures of Eden, Utah when I search it, though, by the way. That place looks beautiful.
it looks like Mars.
Yeah. Who did the typography on there?
I made the cover.
I like it.
We had the that picture was like. I think the picture you're talking about has the four of us on it, right? I think that's the one that's used.
Yeah, the one that I see on SoundCloud.
Yes, that's the one I put up. Not 100% gonna be the cover, maybe, but I don't know. We have that one. Yeah, I remember we took a video. We were like, let's take a video of all, because there was only the four of us on the top of that mountain. So we took a video of us like walking away from the camera, and yeah, like Pat said, there's. I mean, I added some effects like in Photoshop afterwards, but that fog and the landscape that's totally just what it looked like. Yeah. Like that, we were up there and we were playing like beer pong or something, and then we had to stop because it was so foggy we couldn't see anything, and we were like, "Oh, this is sick! Actually, let's take a picture." So we videoed ourselves in front of that, and then we thought it encapsulated the energy well. So.
I think it does too. I mean, if you change it out, that's fine too. But the art you have now, I really like. I like that the four of you are on it, and I also like how it's like mostly gray, but then there's like the ground on it too.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It was just like it's crazy.
Yeah. Go. What'd you say, Pat? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. It was just like a dirt parking lot is like the yellow at the bottom. But like you can barely tell the difference between like what's going on.
Well, it's another motif on the album, right? Is the idea of the unknown, which is like why I positioned it sort of that way, where it's like, you have the ground beneath you, but most of what you're seeing is, scary, but you don't know what's out there. Like, and that sort of ties back into the Eden story as well, which is just like, you can stay where you're at and things will be pretty good, but once you leave that, it's unknown and scary and you don't know where you're going, sort of, and you feel lost. And which is I like that the four of us are on it as well, because it's sort of like we all were going through all of this together, so we at least had each other to bring us through.
For sure.
A sick cover, actually.
It is. I think like we keep saying Eden and the story of Eden. It's really more about the kicked out of Eden.
The Exodus.
Right.
When I don't know, I always pictured like when in the Bible when they describe like leaving Eden and they're in the desert, like I always pictured what that picture looks like, like it's just a fucking barren landscape, you know? So it looks like the four of us like just ate the fruit and now we're, on the outskirts.
Yeah, it does. And it juxtaposes with the name and makes you think of that, because when you think of Eden, you think of like Eden, Utah. Yeah, which is cool. And I do like the font too, whatever that like
Thanks.
fluorescent light font that you got. I like all that kind of shit anyway.
Nice.
I paid attention to
Yeah,
it,
I
but
mean,
yeah.
I just mess around with stuff. I added like the blur onto it, so I remember doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like, this is cool. I wanted to blur the ending of the word, also just to give the vibe of like you don't know where this is headed, you know.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have like amateur Photoshop skills. So like that's what like I pay attention to that shit too. Sticks and Stones, that's the next track. That one starts with the drums, like you were talking about before.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say about that one? Is it starting with drums because of the sticks?
Yeah, and there's sticks in the bridge. You got the
that's true,
sticks hitting the. He's like you're playing on like the side of like a cymbal stand.
Yeah, so that one
Right.
in the bridge, there's like it sounds like normal. Like when I play it live, I'll just play rim shots on the snare or something like that. But recording that was cool because I had an idea for what I wanted, but I didn't know how to do it like in the studio. So I took the hi-hat stand into the vocal booth and just played I played the part on like the metal side of the hi-hat stand, and it just came out sounding really sick, and we were like, oh, that's pretty awesome, like let's do that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that one, yeah, I mean, that was just another one where I was like, I had that part, and I was like, this is a sick part, like, and we just played it once, and I was like, let me just start it and see how that sounds, and it just kind of stuck, I feel like. But
I think that song is like, it's very driven by the riff, and that was just an example where we were like, let's not all come in at the same time on one and just start on the riff. Like, it probably makes more sense, like, it'll make it more explosive if Evan starts first. But yeah, very riff heavy, like, very Strokes inspired, I would say. Like, we tried to like filter my voice a little bit more. The song lyrically is about like just being fed up with the state of the world and like discontent and not taking a side necessarily, but just being kind of fed up with the way that everyone's upset all the time. And the bridge of the song is like we kind of wanted to do like similar to like a song like All These Things That I've Done by the Killers, like a very like recurring like catchy bridge that people can sing along to, that kind of like emphasizes the meaning of the song. So
For sure. I get that. This is the one, I think, where you're the TV one, right? Where you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Go.
say like kind of like how the media always portrays things how they want to portray it. So you can't believe everything you see on the TV type of thing.
and also everything is just depressing all the time. So
And it,
Yeah.
like, I think the key, like, political statement of it is like that it's like driving you against the people around you. Like,
Yeah.
get everyone to like.
it's
disagree.
extremely divisive. Like,
Yeah, that, like-
no one wants anyone to agree on anything.
Right. I mean, and we say TV. Honestly, more accurate might be like Twitter. Or,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like social,
Right.
that type of stuff. Like just as like, just to make you fucking mad for no reason. And that's kind of what the song's about.
Yeah. It's funny, this came up on another episode on another guest, Ro O'Brien. She has a song on a similar theme called TV Tyranny. So there's a cool, like,
Yeah, there you go.
like if there was a compilation, I'd put those two songs next to each other.
Double.
Everything that has TV somewhere.
Yeah.
In the...
I am.
No, it's the exact same, it's even
No,
the same
same message.
premise.
Yeah.
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 Very cool.
Anything else you want to say about Sticks and Stones?
No,
No,
well,
I mean that's
I'll
a fun
listen
one.
to it.
I love that song. That is like
Me too.
a dark horse favorite for me on this album. I only say that because it's not a single.
That's
but,
my favorite.
I think it might be my favorite. Yeah, I love that song.
I think the drum part is something different.
Yeah.
than
It's fun to
other songs.
play.
It was
like
a really cool part.
That's why I like it so much. Is like the songs that are fun to play, I'm gonna like more.
Yeah.
And that one's a lot of fun to play. So
For sure. And then 10 out of 9 is the
So-
opposite. I mean, I'm sure it's fun to play too, but that's probably like the most single forward. It's the most
Fun in a hard
catchy.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wrote this one. I had the idea for this one before I even started writing it. I was like, I'm just gonna try to write the most like catchy, like radio pop punk song. Actually, I was listening to a lot of Travis Barker's work with Machine Gun Kelly, And how he kind of brings in these big like catchy hooks into their albums. I don't know if you listened to any of his two. I think Tickets
Only a
in
little bit.
is one of them, and I forgot the name of the other album, but they're both really good albums. So I was trying to kind of write something that would be on one of those albums technically, and kind of just went from there. The lyrics don't really mean anything. It's just like a made up story about being an idiot with a girl, and that's really the end of it.
But the bridge, I mean, like most of it is very pop punk, but like the bridge, we also just did something. It's basically like a metal bridge,
like a some 41
yeah.
type of pop punk metal, yeah.
Very Chuck.
Chuck,
Yeah,
Chuck-esque, yep.
Lately,
I wrote like this is the only one I wrote the lyrics for, and this was another one where like I was starting to write music with these guys, and like Greg was telling me about his approach for like he writes a lick and then kind of matches stuff to that lick. So I wrote that I wrote that lick first, and I kind of matched chords to it.
I inspired you?
You did inspire
No
me.
way.
So
Yeah.
inspirational,
No way.
Greg.
Yeah.
So inspirational.
the
Yeah.
lyrics are about you too, Greg. I think.
Yeah. No, the lyrics are kind of about myself. It's like just like my feelings about songwriting, you know? Like it's like how you like kind of you have these inspirations. You have like the two bands I shout out are Weezer and Pavement, where like, you know, these like titans, you know, that you listen to and you like want to be like them. And you don't even want to be like them. You want to be better than them. You want to be like, well, how would I do it if I wrote it? And then you kind of like that feeling it inevitably has a like tension with like who am I to think that I'm gonna write better than Weezer or better than Pavement, you know? And then you like can't help but compare what you're doing to your idols, and you can't help but feel like you fall flat, and you feel like it's like the worst. I don't know, you know, and like it feels impossible to ever write something and then like listen back to it and think it's good. I don't know. That's, you know, I think that's pretty relatable for a lot of people who've tried to like make art, you know?
All of us, at least.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
can tell
For
you
sure.
how I feel when
Yeah.
writing a song. So
So it's about that feeling when you're writing it, and like especially that last verse is like all the thoughts that go through my head when I'm writing a song is like, you know, it's too boring. I need it to be more complex, and then I fucking throw in some stupid like, I don't know, like out of key chord that I think will make it interesting. And I'm like, now it's too complex. It sounds weird. I need to make it more, you know. And you're like all over the place. And the one other thing I'll say about it too is like the one lyric that I don't think I even told you guys about it.
Oh.
That I just want somewhere documented this.
Pod exclusive.
Pod exclusive. There's one lyric where I'm like, what's it mean, let me guess, about a girl that don't exist?
that's the one I was just going to quote before. That's funny.
Yeah,
I'm curious what you're
that's
gonna say.
based on, I wrote that right after your brother's friend was telling me that he loved, what's the name of that? The Since You Left Me.
Yeah.
Which is a song that I wrote the lyrics for with Pat back in college when I wasn't even in the band. We were just hanging out.
It was like 12 years ago.
12 years, so long ago. Completely just made up breakup song, you know? Like, I was not breaking up with anyone at the time. It was not based in reality whatsoever. And, like, this Pat's brother's friend came up to me and he was like, I went through a breakup and I listened to that song and like the lyrics like spoke to me. He was like telling me how he connected to the lyrics, and I just felt like such a fraud because I'm like, it's not. This isn't.
Yeah.
I don't connect to these lyrics. You know?
It's not about that though.
It's like
It's about writing something that someone can connect with.
Yeah, that's what it's
sure,
about.
but that so that's where that lyric came from. Where I'm like,
That's
oh,
cool.
oh, you're writing a
No,
fucking
that is-
yeah,
song.
that
about
is
a girl,
cool.
You
I
know?
didn't
Because
know
you can say that about any, like most songs we write
Yeah.
are some way about like a girl.
Exactly,
Or whatever.
yeah.
So,
What Lies Ahead is also a made up.
yeah.
breakup
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, I mean,
So is Champagne. It's all made up.
yeah.
But I
We're all
was
frauds.
like,
We just think about girls all the time, and then we have to make up dramatic stories about them because we don't. They're not. It's not that interesting. Our real lives.
It's world building. I know. Well, when I listened to this, I'm like, damn, I thought these guys were doing all right. I mean, I just saw them. Like, what's
Yeah.
happened in between?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have ever felt like darker than when I try to write music, to be honest, because I don't know. I could never listen to it and think it sounds good. but hopefully somebody else does, So, yeah.
And I would say musically, like lately is also like very different than some of our other stuff, even some songs on the album. Like my 12-string acoustic is like the only thing I play on that. And it's just like a little bit lighter, obviously has like an extended bridge where it's kind of like stream of consciousness that goes into the last chorus. So just another departure into kind of more like jam rock, acoustic rock.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It sounds a lot like a Weezer song. Like,
Yeah,
that's
like
that's
Weezer.
what I like about it. It's
Yeah.
like I like when you do that in songs. Is like you write a lyric that harkens back to an existing band, but the song kind of sounds like it. It's a little meta angle there.
Yeah.
Is this the song that uses the major seventh chord riff?
Yeah.
There's one that has like a major seventh. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
cool.
I ended it with like it was actually it's like a 3 add like 9 and 13 at the end that kind of ascend full step up. That was from, I think I curved that from the Smiths. They like
Nice.
all that type of stuff where they just have like a chord form that they just slide up a full step, and I tried to the chords for this one I don't play guitar, so I think that I can kind of approach it like more untraditionally. Not that, I mean, these are all fairly standard chords, but like I like just kind of making weird shapes and seeing how it sounds. So that's the chords for
That's true.
this song are kind of weird shapes.
Sweet. Anyone else want to say anything about Lately before we move on?
It's a good song.
Good.
Hell yeah.
Lately I've been listening to
Good
Weezer.
job, Paul.
And lately, I have been listening to Weezer.
That part is not fake.
That's not
Yeah.
That's a true part. Yeah.
I hope. That would be insane if people were writing. Well, people do it.
If we were
Eden.
smart enough to write a Weezer sounding song that mentions
Yeah.
Weezer without ever listening to Weezer, we're not that good.
The namesake. What do you call these? I don't know. Eden. The track 10.
Title track.
Yeah.
The title track. Yes. Fun fact about this song is I listened to it the first time I listened through the album, and I was like, this sounds like it's something I need to go back and analyze. And then I ran out of time today. So pre-tell.
I want to jump in front of Pat just to say. 'cause
Yeah.
This one, we were in Eden. We were
Okay.
all around. It was like our maybe first night there.
Yeah.
So, no, it must have been first night because it's like we had a fun day playing music, right? We're getting drunk. We're getting rowdy. We're sitting around the campfire. Pat's like, I want to show you guys something like I've been working on.
Yeah.
And he plays Eden, just him acoustic. And he wanted it to be like a full band song. He was like, we could take this and do something, but he played it just him acoustically. And like, tears to my eyes.
I think immediately we all were like,
They all
yeah.
were like, "You're keeping it acoustic."
We were
You
like,
just
Hell
I
yeah.
recorded that. You
Yeah.
that's the album right there. That's
It
what you
was-
put on the album. What you just did.
So like emotionally powerful, like from the first time we heard it. Now I'll see the
No. I mean that's a great intro. Like, I mean, it is the title track, and I would say like lyrically and emotionally is probably like if you were gonna take one song that like encompasses everything we're talking about, it's this. So I just started writing it. Like I said, I was like in Eden, and I kind of just pulled out the acoustic guitar, and I was like inspired by like the external environment. So it starts off by just talking about like taking in the beauty around you, but the majority of the song is focused on like the fact that like we're all growing up and have these insane pressures and expectations upon us, and we tend to lose sight of our dreams in the process. So like, we all go through it to some extent, the four of us, like having full-time jobs, and it's like we would absolutely love to do music anytime full-time, but like that stuff kind of just falls to the wayside over time, and you start to lose sight of some of the things that are important. So I think I kind of just like piled that all in together, made it into a really sad acoustic song, and then we added a violin. So
Oh yeah, the violin. Hell yeah. I love that in there. I did hear it more than once because I remember the second time around I noticed the violin.
yeah. I think it was a good addition. But
For
yeah,
sure.
very stripped down. That was the other one that was like Alice in Chains inspired. I was thinking of like Nutshell by Alice in Chains, like kind of like that. But yeah, no, that's really it for that one. If you want to cry, listen to that one.
And Chelsea is it the latest single, or do you put out Monkey Business after that?
Monkey Business just
yeah.
Chelsea was right before that. That was another song from a dream, actually. I woke up and I had let's call it a nightmare or a stress dream that my fiance dumped me.
And then she did, no.
And I just had a lot of like really powerful breakup songs in my, like What's Her Name by Green Day is like one of my favorite songs ever, and like that song is like very low key and kind of like sad for the first 75%, and then breaks down into kind of like a full band, like this is the conclusion of the album, this is everything coming together. So it tells like a half true story about like how my fiance and I met and like our relationship over time, and then tells the fake part of it that we broke up, and the ending is kind of like very Mayday Parade-esque, like falling down to your knees, like very powerful halftime drums. I don't even know if it's halftime, but like,
yeah, it's halftime from like the stuff before.
It's almost like quarter time because the drums in the beginning are so fast.
But that also like very like Noah Kahan inspired, like stick seizing kind of like I use my 12 string and have like a very folky strumming pattern, at least for the first half of it. So there's definitely another good one for people to listen to if you're looking for something different.
I love this song. Yeah. This is a really good one. I love the ending. That's my literal only criticism of this album is I still think you guys should have had like 6 measures of that in the beginning, like and then you come in with the acoustic guitar. That's like what Weezer does, though. That's more Weezer than Mayday Parade. But I heard Weezer in that last part more than anything else, actually.
Yeah, they do definitely have similar, like, structure to some extent, though. Yeah.
Monkey Business. Well, does anyone want to say anything about Chelsea before we move on?
No, I mean that one's out too. So that one and Monkey Business are the 2 latest singles. So go listen to those now. They're out on Spotify and everything right now.
Turn off.
No. Finish the pod first.
Yeah.
And then listen to them. But yeah.
Or pause it. You could listen in between.
Yeah,
we
that's
used
true.
to splice them in, but they don't let you do that anymore.
Yeah.
We talked about Monkey Business, but we didn't. If anybody has anything else they wanted to say about it,
I'm gonna actually jump in front of everybody real quick.
Yeah.
Fun fact for all the Rich Sony listeners that me and Rich actually played the song together down the shore this summer.
Hell yeah! Yep, we did.
A couple chords, and he was like, "Man, you got something here. You got something."
Yeah.
The Monkey Business.
So
Really? Yeah. So I was happy to show Richie a little sneak peek of that one.
Wow.
For sure.
And that wasn't fully even fleshed out to what it became.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, I mean, I think really the main point of this song is like we all agreed after listening to all the songs that like this is a great conclusion. Lyrically, it's talking about like trying to be optimistic in a very pessimistic world and like maybe losing friends or people in the process, and the chorus is like, I'm not pathetic, I'm just apathetic. But the here and now still matter most to me. I think it's like very heavily like Green Day inspired. There's certain like melodies that I do with my vocals that are like that. Halftime, like powerful chorus. So I think it's just like we all agreed that it was a really good way to kind of wrap up the album. Again, go kind of back to our pop punk roots, but then also have a completely different ending. That's like a different time signature, different than what we're used to. And just kind of wrap up strong,
It is very optimistic, which I like, because, I mean, once you've listened to the full album, you've gone through a lot. Like, if you listen, if you relate to all those lyrics, like, a lot of those songs are aggressive or sad in their own way, and then Monkey Business is sort of melancholic, It's like you realized all that shit happened, but you're ready to move forward and accept that it happened, and accepting that it changed you for the better,
Yeah.
You grew up a little bit.
I dig it. And then we'll have to see how that loopability plays out.
Yeah.
Or how it feeds into the next album. That
Oh,
way.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
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 That's what we'll aim for next. We're going.
You have the double entendre of concepts. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing I like
Anything
about,
else you guys want to say?
Yeah, the thing I like about this song too is I feel like the first half is really like something that would be on like an early Green Day album, and then it kind of drifts back into, I would say, like what Final Call kind of became for this album. It becomes more of a Final Call song and really ties the album up nicely. So I think it was a good choice to make it the ending song, and I like, you know, we talked about the loopability of tying it back to the intro.
Yeah.
It kind of just came together nicely without us even really thinking about doing that originally.
I mean, this was another one where we discussed the structure, like multiple, like originally this song was like half the length. It was like one verse or and then we were like, what makes the most sense? Intro, verse, chorus, bridge, whatever, and like it does have a unique song structure. It's basically like 2 verses, chorus, verse, chorus, and then like an outro.
Yeah.
So it's definitely different and like another example of kind of the collaboration and discussion that we were having throughout the process. Yeah. That's it.
Cool.
It's a great song. Listen to it.
And I just want to say our next album is going to be called "Fuck All That Sad Shit." It's going to just be disco. songs.
Now we're gonna do a silly one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, you know, having listened to your other album and your other singles and all of your stuff, I keep it up, guys. Like this is some real growth that you did over these past 4 years, and you can hear it in the music, you can hear it in the songwriting, and like it's great. Everybody should go out and listen to it. If you haven't listened to Final Call, start here and work your way backward. This is like
Start with Shroom.
really good stuff for sure. Yeah.
Have we said the date yet? Did we say the date?
No, but it will be.
No.
It's going to be
Friday, March 13th.
March 13th
Yeah.
will be the official release date. Again, 4 of the singles are out already. We'll probably release another one around the time of that, but that's going to be the full album release. We'll try to have like lyric videos and everything up on our YouTube, and just again encourage people to kind of listen front to back. Come see us at one of the shows.
I was gonna say if you listen to the album and you want to hear it live, come to the Berlin show that we're doing in April. What was the date on that?
April 17th.
April 17th.
And if you forget everything that we're saying in this long podcast, follow our Instagram at Final Call Music. All our shows and music links are going to be there. That's the best way to keep in contact.
You guys are doing a tour too, you said, right? They should check there for
mini
dates
tour
for that.
Yeah.
Mini tour?
I mean, we've had a couple shows we had a couple shows that like we just went through, and then I was kind of like, if we're kind of doing it around the album release and we're going to be promoting the album, like we might as well just call it like an Eden tour instead of saying 3 different shows. But yeah, like again, each of the shows, depending on the venue, is like a different mix of covers and original. The Berlin show is going to be primarily targeted towards playing the album front to back, but regardless, we're going to bring in like a bunch of songs from the new album to play it all. Like we'll focus our originals kind of on these new songs. So we're really excited to kind of get people to hear them live as well.
Sweet. Remind me about that, Greg. I'll come.
I got you, man.
Yeah.
Hound me. I'll come.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cool.
Cool. And yeah, follow Final Call. Did you guys shout it out? I forgot. It's been a
at Final Call Music on Instagram. That's where we post all of our big announcements and stuff. So follow us there. The YouTube also has a lot of good stuff. So I think it's also at Final Call Music on the YouTube. Like Pat said, we're putting out lyric videos for all of our all the new songs on this album. We'll have full lyric videos on the channel. We post clips of us playing live on there as well. But all the news will be on the Instagram. So check us out there.
Cool. Yeah, check them out. Thanks, guys. Great talking to you.
Thanks, Rich.
Good talking to you, too.
Sir.